Morning, students, and happy Monday. Today I'm going to be doing a screencast of our lesson so you guys can see me do it step by step. We're going to be learning about perimeter for the second day. So a little bit of a review. A perimeter is the outside of a shape or figure. So for me, I obviously went and did a rectangle, but this could be the outside of a triangle, a polygon that isn't a regular figure. It could be a pentagon, a hexagon. But again, the perimeter is when we want to find what the outside length is. So today, our essential question is, how can you find an unknown length of a side in a plane figure when you know the perimeter? So this is kind of backwards thinking. So when we did 11.2, we found perimeter by adding the sides. Today, you're going to be given a perimeter and you're going to need to be finding the unknown side length. So it's kind of backwards thinking. It's a little bit of algebra, but I think we'll be able to do it. So let's keep going. So our problem today is Chen has 24 feet of fencing to put around his garden. He already has used the lengths of fencing shown. So how much fencing does he have left for the last side? So right here, it highlighted the question for you. We know that he has 24 feet. We know that he has to use all of it, but we don't know what n is. So if we were to do this, we would make an equation. 4 plus 4 plus 6 plus 3 plus n equals our perimeter, right? So we don't know what n is, but we do know that missing box. We do know what the perimeter is because it's told in the problem. Chen has 24 feet. So that's where we would put 24. So do you see how it was that we needed to find that last number by adding everything? But today, we need to figure out what n is. So remember, don't freak out because there's a letter in math. We know that that's okay. So how do we find this? Well, it would help if we know what all the other sides equal, right? So let's add 4 plus 4, which is 8. 8 plus 6, 14, plus 7 equals 17. So we know the other 4 side lengths that we have on this figure is equal to 17. So the problem is, should we count up from 17 to get to 24? Or should we use our inverse operations and know that subtraction will get us the right answer? It's up to you. But for Miss Swalia, I'm going to be using subtraction. I'm going to make that inverse operation. I'm going to take 24, and instead of adding, I'm going to subtract. I'm going to subtract that 17 that I have. All right, so when I take 24 and I subtract 17, that will give me the missing side length. Everybody know what 24 minus 17 is? Think about it. If you got 7, you're correct. So n is equal to 7. So if we put in 7, where n is right now, we should know that that should all equal 24, and we got the answer that we needed. So let's double check. 4 plus 4, 8. 8 plus 6. That's right, 14. 14 plus 3, 17, and 17 plus 7 is 24. So Chen has 7 feet of fencing left for the last side. So do you see how we're still using what we know about perimeter? We know that all we have to do for perimeter is add all the sides. Easy, right? So now we're just taking that and we're putting the information where it belongs. We cannot add the perimeter when we're just missing a small side length. Do you see what I'm saying? Let's do one more example. Here we go. Lauren has a rectangular blanket. The perimeter, right, the outside, is 30 feet. The width, which means the width or how wide something is 6 feet. So we've got to know that we are finding the length or how long something is. Width, length. Well, what do we know about rectangles? Well, we know rectangles have 2 pairs of opposite sides that are equal in length. So when we're talking about a rectangle, it's not a square, right? So a rectangle has two sides that are the same. So these ones would be the same, the two lengths, and these ones would be the same, the two widths. So we can guess and check. We could figure out if we know that we need to get to 30 and we've got to add everything up. Well, that means that we are going to change the length into the same number. Do you see what I'm saying? So L, we can find what one L is, but to find the perimeter, we've got to add it 2 times. So in this case, they decided, let's try 7. So what happens when we add 6 and 6 and 7 and 7? Well, 6 plus 7 is 13. So if I have 2 of those, what do I got? 13 plus 13? 26. Is that our perimeter? No. All right, so we're going to try again. So we tried 7. That didn't work out. So what would our next guess be? Let's try 8, right? So again, instead of just adding L once, finding the length once, there's 2 lengths. So we have to do 6 plus 6 plus 8 plus 8, right? So 6 plus 6 is 12, 8 plus 8 is 16. What's 12 plus 16? Did I get 30 yet? Nope. I got 28. What's my perimeter? It's 30. So I'm not there yet. It's not working. All right, let's try again. We did 7. We did 8. What about 9? So remember, to find perimeter, I take all my side lengths and I add them together. So 6 plus 6 plus 8 plus 8. I'm sorry, 6 plus 6 plus 9 plus 9. So 6 plus 6 is 12. 9 plus 9 is 18. What happens when we add 12 and 18 together? That's right. We get 30. So what does that mean? What does it mean? Because the question was, what's the length? So do we say the length is 30? No. Do we say the length is 18? No. What it means is if I want to find one length, it's one of those. So it's not 18. It's because I had to add the length twice. So the real answer, the length of the blanket, if I were to fill this back in, is 9. Do you see how I got 9? 9 is because I have to add both sides twice because it's a rectangle, remember? So this side is 9, this side is 9. This side is 6, this side is 6. Okay? So one length is 9. Got it? Now it kind of gets tricky because what if we start talking about a shape that has the same on all of the sides? Well, this isn't an example. However, it's another great example of how we can find the missing side length. So which one of these would I use? If I'm trying to find the perimeter, what am I going to do? That's right. I'm going to add the sides and the perimeter is on the other side of the equal sign. So 6 plus 7 plus 13 plus, should I add 32 or should I add n? If you said add n, you're right, because I'm adding the side lengths. So when I add those 4 things together, what should I equal? I should get the perimeter, which at this point is 32. So this last equation right here is what I would be using, right? We got to use all that. I got to know 6 plus 7 plus 13 plus n, which is, I don't know, will equal 32. So we're going to take that step by step. I know that 7 and 13 are going to equal a friendly number of 20. I'm going to have 20 add 6. Now I'm at 26, right? 26. Check my work. I did it. So we can do both things. We can count up from 26, or we can do the inverse operation. What's the inverse? The opposite. What's the opposite of addition? Subtraction. So n is going to be equal to my perimeter minus what I just added together, which was, in this case, 26. So what's 32 minus 26? You can count up. 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. The answer is 6. So what does that mean? It does not mean my perimeter is 6. It means that my missing side length, or n, is 6. You starting to get it? Get a little bit better? All right. This is what I was talking about. We talked about rectangles, right? And how this side is equal to this side, 6 and 6. And if this side is 9, then this side has to be 9. But what about a square? What do we know about a square? A square is a shape that has 4 equal sides. So look at this square. There's R all the way around. So we need to find the side lengths. Well, we can't say that R is 36 because that means that R would be 36 plus 36 plus 36 plus 36. So let's look at these equations. All right. Remember, an equation is an answer with an equal sign. Just a math sentence. So if I have R, how many R's do I have? Because it's a square, I have 4 R's, right? All of them should be equal. So if I have 4 equal sides, and I take the sides and I repeat them, right? Repeated addition. Do you get what I'm saying? Yes. It's repeated addition, which means multiplication. So what would I multiply? I'm multiplying 4 because I have 4 of them, okay? But I don't know what to multiply. But what do I know? I do know my product because my product is the perimeter. Very good. So would I use 2 times R? No. 2 times 36? No. How about 4 times R equals 36? Yeah? All right. That's the one. You're correct. So if I have 4 times R, that means that I'm taking 4 of the same thing, right? Think about multiplication. We've learned this before. 4 times something is 4 of the same something. All right? So now we got to think about what times 4 equals 36? Well, if you don't know the answer, you know what you could do? The inverse operation. What is the inverse of multiplication? Division. So if you didn't know the answer by multiplying, you could do the answer by division. We could start skip counting. 4, 8, 12. Let's count. 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36. What do I got? 9. There are 9 4s in 36. Right? So what does this mean? This means that if I put 9 and substitute it for R, and I did 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9, would I still get that perimeter that I need? Yes. So if I take 4 times 9, or 9 times 4, right, because of the commutative property, I would be able to find the answer. So yes, this is using multiplication because we're adding the same side lengths. Remember, groups of the same thing. 4 groups of 9 is going to equal 36. So each side, or R, is equal to 9. Does that make sense to you guys? I hope it does, because at this point in the lesson, it's going to be your turn to do your own work. Okay, I want you to go in and you're going to find an assignment, and it's Personal Math Trainer, and it's labeled 11.3 perimeter assignment. So there's about 8 questions where you're going to find the unknown side length, right? Use that information that we learned last week about perimeter, add them all together, and find your missing side lengths. All right. So if you guys have any questions at all and you need any support, I'll be on here. If you guys need me, just message me on Dojo or Google Classroom, and I'll be here. All right, guys, have a great Monday.